Burma, 1943. A routine patrol takes off just after dawn. 4 American planes disappear into the sky and vanish from all communication. For the next 48 minutes, there's nothing. No radio, no reports, just silence. When the 4 aircraft return, something about them is different. Bullet-riddled, fuel nearly empty, and the expressions on the pilots' faces haunted. No one knew what they had seen or survived. It would take years before the truth emerged, and even then, it was only spoken in fragments, in letters, in interviews, in whispers. What really happened in those skies over Burma? The answer is almost too unbelievable to be true. In the chaos of the Pacific Theatre, where dense jungles and brutal terrain made every step dangerous, a unique unit carved its name into the sky, the 80th Fighter Group, known as the Burma Banshees. Operating from remote jungle airstrips in India and Burma, these pilots flew the P-40 Warhawk, a rugged, outdated fighter, but in their hands, it became a force of nature. Marked by menacing skull paint on the nose, the Burma Banshees weren't just feared, they were relentless. They flew hundreds of missions, escorting bombers, engaging Japanese fighters, and protecting vital Allied supply lines. But the war in Burma wasn't only fought in the air, it was fought in disease, in heat, in exhaustion. It was the forgotten front. Lieutenant Philip Adair wasn't the kind of pilot who made headlines. He didn't chase glory, he chased precision. Described by his peers as calm and calculating, Adair was the kind of man who absorbed the pressure of war in silence. In a unit filled with daredevils and instinct flyers, Adair stood out for his discipline and foresight. He often stayed up late, studying enemy tactics, memorizing terrain maps, planning what others left to luck. His letters home rarely mentioned war. Instead, he wrote of birds he saw from the cockpit, the sun breaking over the Himalayas, and the unbearable quiet after combat. On the morning of the mission, 4 pilots, including Adair, were assigned to patrol Sector Charlie near the Irrawaddy River. It was a low-threat zone. The briefing was short. Japanese activity was expected to be minimal. The planes took off just after dawn. The air was thick, the horizon was clean. But that silence, that stillness, was only the beginning. None of them knew they were flying directly into one of the most uneven aerial battles of the war. 25 minutes into the patrol, the warning came. 15 aircraft detected, closing in fast. The silhouettes weren't friendly. Japanese Zeros, fast, agile, unforgiving. The Banshees were outnumbered nearly 4-1. Adair gave no speech, no dramatic order, just a simple radio call.
"We engage. Tighten up."
And with that, 4 American fighters turned into the jaws of a force nearly 4 times their size. The sky exploded with motion. Adair dove into the enemy formation, guns blazing. He fired short, precise bursts, just enough to disable. 1 Zero spun out, another broke formation. His wingman was under fire. Adair looped around and put himself between the attacker and his friend, drawing fire, a desperate gamble. He pulled up just in time. The 4 Banshees flew like a single organism, turning, banking, rolling in unison, each protecting the other, each refusing to break. What began as a slaughter turned into a stand. One by one, the Zeros peeled away, damaged, retreating, unsure. The element of surprise was gone. The Banshees had survived the first wave and were now holding the line. Adair hit a 3rd enemy wing, forcing another to break off. The air battle shifted, subtly, then swiftly. By the time the last shots rang out, the skies were theirs again. One by one the Warhawks returned, shot up, fuel nearly gone, but alive. Ground crews waited with bated breath. As each aircraft touched down, a weight lifted. Against all odds, every man had come back. None were untouched by the battle, but all had endured it, together. Lieutenant Adair never told the story publicly. Not for medals, not for recognition. It was his crew who spoke of his precision, his courage, his calm in the storm. Years later, through dusty letters and weathered interviews, the pieces were found, the truth assembled, and the silence filled. In a war filled with chaos, this was one moment of quiet, coordinated resistance, a small group that refused to break when everything said they should. This was the day the Burma Banshees made history, and no one even knew it. In honor of Lieutenant Philip Adair and the Burma Banshees, forgotten heroes of the Forgotten Front. Subscribe to The Lost Record for more true stories that history almost forgot.